I'm 42 years old, sitting in what used to be our living room, and all I can hear is silence. 3 months since Richard walked out, 2 months since the lawyers finished their dance, and now here I am with nothing but empty walls and a stack of mail I've been avoiding. The divorce papers are still on the coffee table. Final decree, they called it. Final feels right, like death, but different. Like watching your own life get packed into boxes and hauled away by strangers. I reach for the mail, mostly bills and credit card offers, but there's something different today. A thick envelope from Montgomery Wellness Center. Inside, there's a questionnaire about stress management and holistic healing. 20 pages of detailed questions that someone actually cared enough to create. Rate your current stress level on a scale of 1 to 10. Hell, I'd need a scale that goes to 20. Describe your relationship with your body and physical well-being. I almost laugh. What relationship? Richard used to tell me I looked fine, and I believed that was enough. Now I realize I haven't really looked at myself in years. But then the questions get deeper. What does healing mean to you? How do you connect with your inner wisdom? When did you last feel truly seen and understood? That last one stops me cold. I can't remember. Not with Richard, not with my mother, not with anyone. I'm halfway through when my phone rings. Unknown local number. Claire Davis? Yes. This is Bethany from Montgomery Wellness Center. I noticed you filled out our wellness assessment. I'd love to schedule a consultation. Her voice is warm honey, southern but not thick. There's something in it that makes me want to keep listening. I haven't finished the questionnaire yet. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes the questions themselves are part of the healing process. What kind of consultation? I specialize in foot massage therapy and traditional Chinese medicine. Your answers suggest you might benefit from our integrative approach. I look around the empty room. What have I got to lose? When's your next opening? How's tomorrow at 3? Tomorrow. I close my eyes. Yes, tomorrow's good. After I hang up, I finish the questionnaire. My pen hovers over the final question. What are you ready to let go of? Everything, I write. I'm ready to let go of everything. The next morning arrives gray and drizzly, typical spring weather for Montgomery. I almost cancel twice, but something about that voice keeps pulling me forward. The address leads me to a converted Victorian house on Oak Street, painted sage green with white trim. A small brass plaque reads Bethany Richardson, LMT, TCM. I sit in my car for 10 minutes, watching rain streak the windshield. Through the front window I can see soft lighting and what looks like a waiting area with comfortable chairs. A woman moves past the window, brunette hair pulled back, wearing flowing pants and a cream-colored top. My phone buzzes. A text from my sister. How are you holding up? Fine, I type back. Always fine. But I'm not fine. I'm terrified and empty and starting over at 42, and I have no damn idea what I'm doing. The rain picks up, drumming against the roof of my Honda. I grab my purse and run for the door. Inside smells like lavender and something else. Ginger maybe, or eucalyptus. The woman I glimpse through the window appears from a back room. She's younger than me, maybe late 30s, with a kind of natural beauty that doesn't need makeup. Green eyes that actually seem to see me. Claire? That's me. I'm Bethany. She extends her hand, and when I shake it, her grip is firm and warm. Thank you for coming in today. How are you feeling? Honestly, like I'm about to fall apart. She doesn't look alarmed or uncomfortable. Instead, she nods like falling apart is perfectly normal. Then you're in exactly the right place. The treatment room feels like stepping into another world. Soft music plays from hidden speakers and the lighting is warm without being harsh. There's a massage chair that looks more like a piece of furniture than medical equipment, and the walls are covered with certificates I can't read. Chinese characters mixed with English degrees. Tell me about your questionnaire, Bethany says, settling into a chair across from me. Your answers were quite honest. Too honest, probably. There's no such thing. She pulls out a small notepad. You mentioned feeling disconnected from your body. That's more common than you might think. I watch her hands as she writes. No wedding ring. Slender fingers with short, practical nails. Everything about her seems intentional, like she's made careful choices about how to present herself to the world. I've never done anything like this before, I admit. Like what? Alternative medicine, massage therapy, any of it. What made you decide to try now? The question hangs in the air. I could give her the simple answer: divorce stress, starting over, desperate for something different. But those green eyes make me want to dig deeper. My marriage ended 3 months ago. 20 years, and then one day Richard decided he needed to find himself. I laugh, but it sounds bitter even to me. Apparently finding himself meant finding someone half my age. Bethany doesn't offer platitudes or empty sympathy. She just nods and keeps writing. How did that make you feel about yourself? Invisible. Like I'd been sleepwalking through my own life. And now? Now I'm awake, but I don't recognize anything around me. She sets down her pen and looks directly at me. Would you like to try a treatment today? Sometimes our bodies hold wisdom our minds haven't caught up to yet. The massage chair is surprisingly comfortable. Bethany explains everything as she works. Pressure points, energy meridians, the connection between feet and overall well-being. Her touch is professional but not clinical. When she finds a particularly tense spot, she pauses. Breathe through this, she says softly. Whatever comes up, just let it happen. And damn if I don't start crying. Not gentle tears, but full-on sobbing that seems to come from somewhere I didn't know existed. I'm sorry. I manage between gasps. This is embarrassing. It's not. Her hands never stop moving. Your body is releasing what it's been holding. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. I don't even know why I'm crying. Does that matter right now? It doesn't. For the first time in months, I'm not trying to analyze or control anything. I'm just here, falling apart in the hands of a stranger who doesn't seem fazed by my breakdown. When the tears finally stop, I feel hollow but somehow lighter. Bethany hands me tissues and sits back in her chair. How do you feel? Different. Empty, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Perfect sense. She's watching me with those perceptive eyes again. Claire, can I ask you something personal? After what just happened? Ask away. When was the last time someone really listened to you? Not to fix you or give advice, just to hear what you had to say? I think about it. Richard used to listen, at least I thought he did. But looking back, he was usually distracted, checking his phone, planning his response, waiting for me to finish so he could talk about work. I honestly can't remember. That's heartbreaking. Is it? Everyone deserves to be heard, to be seen. Something in her voice makes me look at her differently. There's depth there, like she's speaking from experience rather than training. What about you? I ask. When's the last time someone really listened to you? She's quiet for a long moment. It's been a while. That's heartbreaking too. She smiles, and it transforms her entire face. Maybe we could change that. What do you mean? I mean, maybe we could listen to each other. If you're interested in continuing treatments, that is. I should probably think about it. Analyze the practical considerations, the cost, whether this is the kind of self-care I can justify while rebuilding my life. But something about this woman, this place, this moment feels right, in a way nothing has for a long time. When's your next opening? How about next week? Same time? Perfect. As I'm leaving, she touches my arm gently. Claire? What happened in there today, the crying, the release, that took courage. It felt like falling apart. Sometimes falling apart is the first step toward putting yourself back together. Outside, the rain has stopped and there's a hint of sun breaking through the clouds. I sit in my car for a few minutes, not ready to leave this feeling behind. My phone buzzes with another text from my sister, but I don't check it. For the first time in months, I'm not thinking about what comes next. I'm just sitting here, feeling strangely peaceful, and looking forward to something. The next week crawls by. I catch myself thinking about my appointment with Bethany more than I should. Not just the professional aspect, the way she listened without judging, how her hands seemed to know exactly where I needed healing. There was something else, something I'm not ready to name. Tuesday comes faster and slower than expected. I arrive early and sit in the same comfortable chair, but this time I notice details I missed before. The way afternoon light filters through the windows, the subtle scent of sandalwood, the sound of Bethany moving quietly in the back room. Right on time, she says, appearing in the doorway. Today she's wearing a soft blue tunic that brings out her eyes, and her hair is loose around her shoulders instead of pulled back. Something flutters in my chest that I quickly push down. How was your week? She asks as we settle into the treatment room. Complicated. I kept thinking about what you said, about being heard. And? I realized how much I've been hiding, even from myself. She nods, adjusting the settings on the massage chair. What have you been hiding from? Everything. The fact that my marriage was over years before Richard left, that I haven't been happy in so long I forgot what it felt like, that I'm terrified of starting over but also excited about it. That's a lot to carry. Yeah. This time when she begins working on my feet, I don't fight the emotions that surface. There's grief, but also something like relief. Her touch is more confident today, like she's mapping territory she's beginning to know. Claire, can I try something different? What kind of different? There are pressure points that correspond to emotional release. I'd like to incorporate some acupressure techniques, but it means working on your hands and arms too. Okay? She moves to sit beside me, taking my left hand in both of hers. Her touch sends an unexpected jolt through my system. Not unpleasant, but definitely not clinical anymore. Tell me about your marriage, she says, pressing gently on the webbing between my thumb and forefinger. We met in college. Richard was studying business, I was in marketing. We had this whole plan: career, house, kids, retirement. Did you want kids? The question catches me off guard. I thought I did. Richard certainly did. But every time we talked seriously about it, something felt wrong. What kind of wrong? Like I was agreeing to someone else's dream. I watch her work, the way her fingers move with such precise intention. We tried for 3 years. When it didn't happen, Richard blamed stress. I was secretly relieved. That must have been isolating. Terrifying is more like it. What kind of woman doesn't want children? The kind who knows herself well enough to be honest. She moves to my other hand, and this time when she touches me, I don't pretend I don't feel it. There's electricity between us, subtle but unmistakable. Bethany? Can I ask you something personal? Fair's fair. Have you ever been married? Her hands pause for just a moment. No. Ever been close? Once. A long time ago. What happened? I fell in love with the wrong person. She continues the pressure point work, but I can feel tension in her fingers now. Or maybe the right person at the wrong time. Or maybe I was just too scared to admit what I really wanted. What did you really want? She looks up at me then, and there's something vulnerable in her expression that makes my breath catch. To be myself, completely, without apology or explanation. And you can't do that now? I'm working on it. The rest of the session passes in comfortable quiet, but there's an undercurrent of something building between us. When she finishes, neither of us moves right away. Claire? Yeah? Would you like to stay for tea? I mean, if you don't have somewhere else to be? I should probably leave. This feels like crossing a line, and I'm not even sure what line or why I care. But her eyes are hopeful, and I realize I don't want this to end yet. I'd like that. Her small kitchen is cozy and lived in, with herbs drying on the windowsill and mismatched mugs that suggest she values function over appearance. She moves with the same careful intention here that she showed during treatment. Green tea, okay? Perfect. We sit at her small table, and for the first time since entering her space, the conversation feels awkward. This is weird, isn't it? I say finally. Which part? Having tea with my massage therapist, talking about personal stuff, all of it. Does weird necessarily mean bad? No, just unfamiliar. She stirs honey into her tea, and I watch the way her lips curve around the rim of her mug when she sips. When I catch myself staring, heat rises in my cheeks. Claire? Yeah? I want to be honest about something. My heart starts beating faster. Okay. I don't usually invite clients for tea. Why did you invite me? She sets down her mug and looks directly at me. Because talking to you feels like the most natural thing in the world. And because I think you might feel the same way. The silence stretches between us, loaded with possibility and fear. I could deflect, make a joke, pretend I don't understand what she's suggesting. Instead, I hear myself saying, I do feel the same way. Good. She reaches across the table and covers my hand with hers. Because I'd really like to kiss you right now. My entire world tilts sideways. Bethany, I know. I don't know what I'm doing. Neither do I. She stands and moves around the table, stopping just close enough that I can smell her shampoo. When she touches my face, her palm is warm against my cheek. We don't have to figure it all out right now, she whispers. And then she kisses me. Soft at first, tentative, giving me room to pull away. When I actually lean into her, she deepens the kiss, and I taste honey and possibility, and something that feels suspiciously like coming home. When we break apart, I'm breathless and confused and more alive than I've felt in years. What happens now? I manage. Now we see what happens next. Is that enough? For tonight, it's everything. I don't sleep that night. Every time I close my eyes, I feel Bethany's lips on mine, taste the honey sweetness of that kiss. By morning, I'm a wreck of confusion and unexpected desire. 20 years of marriage to a man, and I've never felt anything like what happened in that kitchen. The way my body responded to her touch, the electricity that ran through me when she whispered my name. It's like discovering a part of myself I never knew existed. I spend the morning pacing my empty apartment, picking up my phone to call her, and then putting it down again. What am I supposed to say? Thanks for the revelation that I might be attracted to women? Sorry for being 42 and completely clueless about my own sexuality? Around noon, she calls me. Claire? It's Bethany. How are you feeling? Her voice makes my stomach flip, confused, terrified, alive. All at the same time? Pretty much. Would you like to talk about it? I mean, somewhere besides the clinic. Maybe dinner? Dinner feels like crossing another line. But at this point, I'm already so far from anything I recognize as normal that it hardly matters. Where? My place. I'll cook. You don't have to. I want to. That evening, I stand outside her front door, holding a bottle of wine and questioning every decision that led me here. When she opens the door, she's wearing jeans and a soft sweater, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looks comfortable and real in a way that makes my chest tight. Come in. Her house is small but warm, filled with plants and books, and the kind of personal touches that speak to someone who actually lives in their space instead of just occupying it. The kitchen smells like garlic and herbs. What's cooking? Pasta with vegetables from my garden, nothing fancy. Smells incredible. She hands me a glass of wine and moves back to the stove. There's something domestic about the scene that should feel strange but doesn't. Can I ask you something? I say, settling onto a bar stool at her counter. Anything. When did you know? About yourself, I mean. She stirs the pasta sauce, considering. College. I was dating this guy, nice enough, but something always felt like I was playing a role. Then I met Sarah. Sarah? My roommate's friend. The first time she smiled at me, I understood what people meant when they talked about butterflies. She glances at me. What about you? Any signs looking back? I think about it. Maybe. There were a few times in college when I'd get these intense friendships with other women. I told myself it was just being close friends, but now I wonder if I was lying to myself about a lot of things. We eat at her small dining table, talking about everything except the obvious tension between us. She tells me about studying traditional Chinese medicine, about the challenges of running her own practice. I find myself sharing stories about my marriage I've never told anyone. The slow drift toward indifference, the way Richard and I became roommates instead of lovers. Do you miss him? She asks. I miss the idea of him, the security of knowing what was expected of me. And now? Now I have no idea what comes next, and that's both terrifying and exhilarating. After dinner, we move to her living room. She puts on music, something soft and instrumental, and sits beside me on her couch. Not touching, but close enough that I'm hyper-aware of her presence. Claire? Yeah? I want to be clear about something. I'm not trying to pressure you into anything you're not ready for. I know. But I also can't pretend I don't feel something here. I turn to face her fully. What do you feel? Like I've been waiting for you without knowing it. The honesty in her voice undoes something in my chest. I reach for her hand, intertwining our fingers. I feel it too. The connection. I just don't know what to do with it. We don't have to do anything. We can just be here. But being here, sitting this close to her, feeling the warmth of her hand in mine, is doing things to my body that I can't ignore. When she looks at me, really looks, I see desire there that mirrors my own. Bethany? I think I'd like to kiss you again. This time, when our lips meet, there's no hesitation. The kiss deepens naturally, and I'm surprised by how right it feels to touch her, to run my fingers through her hair, to taste her response to me. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Your place, or mine, she whispers against my ear. Here. Now. She takes my hand and leads me to her bedroom. The space is simple but beautiful. White linen, soft lighting, the scent of lavender from a diffuser on the nightstand. We undress slowly, carefully, like we're unwrapping something precious. When I see her fully, I'm struck by how different her body is from what I know. Softer curves, graceful lines that invite touch, rather than demand it. You're beautiful, I breathe. So are you. What happens next is gentle and exploratory. Nothing like the mechanical interactions I'd grown accustomed to with Richard. Bethany moves with patience and attention, reading my responses, following my lead when I grow bold enough to touch her in return. When she kisses my neck, I arch into her touch. When I trace the curve of her waist, she makes a sound that sends heat straight through me. We learn each other slowly, discovering what makes us breathe faster, what makes us call out each other's names. Afterward, we lie tangled together, and I feel more myself than I have in years. No regrets? She asks softly. None. You? Only that we didn't do this sooner. I laugh, pressing closer to her warmth. We couldn't have done this sooner. I wasn't ready. And now? Now I think I'm ready for whatever comes next. She kisses the top of my head. Even if it's complicated? Especially if it's complicated. 3 weeks slide by in a blur of stolen moments and newfound intimacy. I find myself living for Tuesday and Friday appointments that have become something far beyond therapeutic massage. Bethany and I text constantly, sharing everything from breakfast photos to random thoughts about the weather. My empty apartment feels less like a tomb and more like a launching pad for whatever comes next. I'm at her kitchen table, helping her organize client files, when she checks her phone and her face goes pale. What's wrong? I just got a notification. Someone left a review on my business page. She hands me the phone, and I read the 1-star review posted by Disgusted Client 47. The words make my stomach drop. Inappropriate touching during massage. Made me uncomfortable with personal questions. Completely unprofessional behavior. Would not recommend to anyone, especially women. This is completely false, Bethany says, her voice shaking. I've been practicing for 8 years. I've never had a complaint like this. I scroll through the comments already appearing below the review. Most are supportive from longtime clients, but there are others. Anonymous accounts calling her perverted and predatory. My blood runs cold. Who would do this? I have no idea. None of my clients have ever seemed uncomfortable. I always maintain professional boundaries. Except with me, I think, but don't say. Because what we have isn't about those boundaries being crossed inappropriately. It's about 2 adults choosing to explore something real. Can you report it? I already did, but these review sites, they rarely remove anything without overwhelming evidence. By evening, the situation has exploded. Someone screenshots the review and posts it on Twitter with the caption, "Local massage therapist accused of inappropriate behavior." The tweet gets picked up by a Montgomery gossip account with 15,000 followers. Bethany Richardson at Montgomery Wellness Center. Avoid a tea all costs. Multiple reports of unprofessional conduct. The comments are brutal. People who've never met Bethany are calling her everything from sick to dangerous. Someone posts her address. Another person shares a photo of her clinic with the caption, "Stay away from this predator." This is insane, I tell her, as we sit in her living room, watching her business get destroyed in real time. One fake review and suddenly the whole internet thinks they know you. It's not just one anymore. She's right. 2 more negative reviews have appeared from accounts created today. All anonymous, all using similar language about inappropriate touching and unprofessional behavior. Someone's targeting you specifically. But why? I can't think of anyone who would want to hurt me like this. Her phone buzzes constantly with cancellations. By midnight, she's lost 12 appointments for the next week. By morning, it's worse. Montgomery massage therapist accused of sexual misconduct reads the headline on a local Facebook group. The post has been shared 47 times. The comments are a mix of outrage, speculation, and people claiming they always knew something was off about her. I'm reading through the toxic thread when I see a comment that makes my blood freeze. Saw her at the farmer's market last week with some blonde woman. Very cozy, if you know what I mean. Explains a lot about her inappropriate behavior with female clients. Someone saw us together. Someone connected the dots. Bethany, look at this. She reads the comment, and I watch her face crumble. They're going to drag you into this too. I don't care about me. I care about you. You should care about yourself. This is just the beginning. She's right. Within hours, more comments appear speculating about her lifestyle and whether she's targeting vulnerable women. The nastiness escalates from professional criticism to personal attacks about her sexuality. Maybe we should take a break, she says quietly, until this blows over. Are you serious? I don't want them to destroy your reputation too. You're just getting back on your feet after your divorce. So you want to hide? I want to protect you. From what? A bunch of anonymous cowards with nothing better to do than tear down a good person? From being associated with me when this gets worse. I grab her hands, forcing her to look at me. Listen to me. I've spent 20 years hiding from who I really am. I'm not going to start running now. Claire, you don't understand. This isn't just about bad reviews. This is about my livelihood, my reputation, everything I've worked for. Then we fight back. How? I don't know yet. But I know we don't give up. That night, I can't sleep. Bethany's curled against me, but I can feel the tension in her body even in sleep. I scroll through the latest comments on my phone, documenting the worst ones. Someone has to be coordinating this attack, and I'm going to find out who. By dawn, I have a plan. It's risky, and Bethany probably won't like it, but doing nothing isn't an option anymore. I'm not going to let them destroy the woman I love. The thought stops me cold. Love? When did that happen? But even as I question it, I know it's true. Somewhere between that first kiss and this moment, I fell completely in love with Bethany Richardson. Which means I'm going to fight for her, no matter what it costs. The protesters arrive at 9 a.m. 20 people holding signs with messages like "Protect our women" and "No perverts in Montgomery." They set up on the sidewalk across from Bethany's clinic, and within minutes, someone's filming them for social media. I watch from my car as Bethany approaches her own front door and hesitates. One of the protesters recognizes her and starts shouting. That's her. That's the woman who preys on innocent clients. Shame on you. Find another town. Bethany fumbles with her keys, drops them, picks them up again. I can see her hands shaking from here. When she finally gets the door open and disappears inside, the crowd cheers like they've accomplished something meaningful. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister. Saw something online about you dating a massage therapist? Call me. Then another from my former neighbor. Is it true what they're saying about your friend? And another from someone I haven't spoken to in 2 years. Heard you're mixed up in some scandal. Hope you're okay. The news has reached my personal circle. The small-town gossip network has connected me to Bethany, and now I'm part of the story too. I text my sister back. It's complicated. Can't talk right now. The response comes immediately, Claire. People are saying terrible things. Maybe you should distance yourself until this blows over. Distance myself. Like Bethany is some kind of infection I need to recover from. I drive to her clinic and park in the back alley. The protesters don't see me slip through the rear entrance. Inside, Bethany sits at her desk staring at her computer screen. Her appointment book for the day is empty. Every client canceled overnight. How bad is it? I ask. She turns the screen toward me. The number of negative reviews has doubled. Someone created a fake website called Montgomery Predator Watch with her photo and address. The local Facebook groups are full of posts warning people to stay away from her business. It gets worse, she says quietly. My landlord called. Someone contacted him about my lease, told him he was harboring a sexual predator. What did he say? That he's reviewing my rental agreement, looking for any clause that might allow early termination. I sink into the chair across from her desk. This is insane. Someone called my insurance company too. And the state licensing board. On what grounds? Anonymous complaints about unprofessional conduct. They have to investigate anything that gets reported. The scope of the attack is becoming clear. This isn't just internet trolling. Someone is systematically trying to destroy every aspect of her professional life. Who hates you this much? I keep asking myself the same question. I've been going through old client files, trying to think of anyone who might have felt uncomfortable or misunderstood something I said or did. A loud chant starts up outside. No means no. We won't go. Bethany closes her eyes. Maybe I should just leave Montgomery, start over somewhere else. Running away won't solve anything. These people will find something else to be outraged about next week. But at least it won't be destroying my life. Your life isn't destroyed. It's under attack, and that's different. She looks at me with exhausted eyes. Is it? Claire, I've lost everything. My business, my reputation, my sense of safety in my own neighborhood. You haven't lost me, haven't I? Your sister's already telling you to distance yourself. How long before your other friends do the same? How long before you realize being with me isn't worth the cost? The question hangs between us like a challenge. Outside, the protesters have started a new chant. Shame, shame, shame. You want to know what I realized last night? I tell her. I realized I love you. She stares at me. What? I'm in love with you, Bethany Richardson. Completely, terrifyingly in love with you. I lean forward in my chair. So no, I'm not going anywhere. And neither are you. Claire. I spent 20 years living someone else's idea of my life. I'm not going to let a bunch of anonymous cowards scare me away from the first real thing I've ever felt. Even if it costs you everything? What everything? My empty apartment? My boring marketing job that I hate? The approval of people who were never really my friends anyway? I shake my head. The only thing that matters to me is in this room right now. She starts crying then, not the gentle tears from our first session, but harsh sobs that sound like they're being torn out of her chest. I move around the desk and pull her into my arms. She clings to me like I'm the only solid thing in a world that's tilting sideways. I'm scared, she whispers. Me too. What if they never stop? Then we figure out how to live with it, together. The chanting outside grows louder and someone starts pounding on the front door. Bethany tenses in my arms. Don't answer it, I tell her. What if they break the glass? Then we call the police. But even as I say it, I know the police aren't going to solve this. The protesters aren't technically doing anything illegal. The online harassment is mostly anonymous. The review bombs are protected speech. The system that's supposed to protect people like Bethany has been weaponized against her. My phone buzzes with another message, this one from a number I don't recognize. Saw you going into that pervert's clinic. Birds of a feather, right? Hope you're happy with your choice, Dyke. I show Bethany the text. Now they're coming after me too. I'm sorry. I never wanted you to get dragged into this. Good. Because I'm about to drag myself in a lot deeper. What do you mean? I stand up, smoothing down my shirt and checking my reflection in her office mirror. I mean, I'm going outside to talk to those protesters. Claire, no. Someone needs to tell them who you really are. That you're not some predator, you're a healer who's helped dozens of people. That their anonymous sources are liars trying to destroy a good person. They won't listen. Maybe not. But I'm going to make them hear me anyway. I head for the front door, but Bethany grabs my arm. Please don't do this. Why? Because I can't lose you too. I turn back to her, and the fear in her eyes almost breaks my resolve. Almost. You're not going to lose me. But I'll be damned if I'm going to hide in here and let them win. The morning after my confrontation with the protesters, I sit at my kitchen table with my laptop and a cup of coffee that's gone cold. My hands are still shaking from yesterday's adrenaline, but my mind is clear. If anonymous cowards can destroy someone's reputation online, then real people with real names can fight back the same way. I start typing. My name is Claire Davis, and I want to tell you about Bethany Richardson. The testimonial pours out of me. 3 pages about my experience as her client, her professionalism, her genuine care for healing. I describe the questionnaire that started it all, the gentle way she handled my emotional breakdown, her commitment to helping people feel better in their own bodies. I don't mention our relationship. That's not what this is about. This is about the truth. I post it on every review site I can find, on my social media accounts, on the local Facebook groups where the rumors started. Within an hour, the responses begin. Thank you for speaking up. Bethany helped me through chronic pain when no one else could. Margaret S. She's the most ethical practitioner I've ever worked with. This attack on her is disgusting. Jennifer L. I've been her client for 3 years. These accusations are complete lies. David K. By noon, 12 people have shared similar stories. By evening, it's 28. Real names, real experiences, real people willing to stand up for someone who helped them. But the backlash comes too. Anonymous accounts flood my testimonial with angry responses calling me everything from naive to complicit. Someone digs up my divorce records and posts them with the caption, "Another desperate divorcee falling for lesbian predator." My phone doesn't stop buzzing. My sister calls 6 times before I finally answer. "Claire, what the hell are you doing? I'm defending someone who doesn't deserve this." By destroying your own reputation, people are saying you're sleeping with her. Maybe I am. Is that anyone's business? Silence on the other end. Then, you're sleeping with a woman? I'm sleeping with Bethany. Her gender is irrelevant. Claire, you can't be serious. You're not gay. I'm not labeling anything. I'm just living my life. This is a midlife crisis. You're confused after the divorce. I'm not confused. For the first time in my adult life, I'm not confused. She hangs up on me. That evening, I drive to Bethany's house. The protesters are gone, but someone has spray-painted pervert across her front door in red letters. She's sitting on her porch steps, staring at it. "How long has it been there?" I ask, sitting beside her. "I found it this morning. Called the police. They said, unless I saw who did it, there's nothing they can do. We'll paint over it. What's the point? They'll just do it again." I show her my phone, scrolling through the positive responses to my testimonial. Look at this. Real people defending you. Real clients sharing their experiences. She reads for a few minutes, and I see some of the tension leave her shoulders. Mrs. Henderson wrote something. She's 83 and barely knows how to use a computer. Your people are fighting back. My people? The people who know who you really are. We sit in comfortable silence, watching the sun set over her neighborhood. A few cars drive by slowly, passengers craning their necks to look at us. "I got a call from the state licensing board today," she says finally. "What did they say?" "They're opening a formal investigation. I have to appear before a panel next month." What does that mean? Best case scenario, they clear me and I can continue practicing. Worst case, they revoke my license permanently. Based on anonymous internet reviews? Based on official complaints. Someone's been filing formal reports, not just posting online. The systematic nature of the attack is becoming clearer. This isn't random internet outrage. Someone is methodically using every available tool to destroy her career. Who hates you this much? I keep asking myself that question. A car pulls up across the street and parks. The driver doesn't get out, just sits there watching us. After 10 minutes, they drive away. "That's been happening all week," Bethany says. "Different cars, same pattern." "We should call the police." "And tell them what? That people are parking on a public street?" Inside her house, we curl up on the couch together. She's tense in my arms, jumping at every sound outside. "I can't live like this," she whispers. "You won't have to. This will blow over." "What if it doesn't?" Then we figure out what comes next, together. She tilts her head up to look at me. "Why are you doing this? Fighting for me, I mean. You could walk away tomorrow and none of this would touch you." "Because I love you. Even if loving me costs you everything? Especially then." She kisses me then, soft and desperate, like she's trying to memorize the feel of my lips. When we break apart, there are tears on her cheeks. "I love you too," she whispers. "More than I thought I could love anyone." Then we fight, together. What if we lose? Then we lose together too. That night, lying in her bed with the sound of her breathing beside me, I make a decision. I'm done being defensive. I'm done letting anonymous cowards control the narrative. Tomorrow, I'm going to take the offensive. I've spent 42 years letting other people define who I should be. I'm not going to let them define who I love. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "You're both going to pay for your sick lifestyle." I screenshot it and add it to the folder I've been building. Evidence, documentation, a paper trail that might prove this isn't random harassment. Because I'm starting to suspect someone specific is behind all this. And I'm going to find out who. Bethany stirs beside me, reaching for my hand in her sleep. Her fingers intertwine with mine, and I feel that familiar spark of connection that started this whole journey. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. 3 weeks after my public defense of Bethany, something shifts. The tide of online vitriol hasn't stopped, but legitimate voices are starting to outnumber the anonymous trolls. Local newspapers pick up the story. Not the salacious version about predatory behavior, but the real story about cyberbullying and false accusations. The breakthrough comes when we least expect it. Bethany gets a call from Dr. Patricia Wells, a psychiatrist who's been following our situation online. "I'd like to offer you a speaking opportunity," Dr. Wells explains over speakerphone in Bethany's living room. "The Alabama Alternative Medicine Conference is next month in Birmingham. We'd love to have you present your integration of traditional Chinese medicine with therapeutic massage." "You want me to speak? After everything that's happened?" "Especially after everything that's happened. The medical community has been watching how you've handled this harassment. Your professionalism under pressure has been remarkable." Bethany looks at me with something like hope in her eyes for the first time in weeks. "I'll do it." "Excellent. And Ms. Davis, we'd like you to co-present. Your background in marketing plus your advocacy work makes you uniquely qualified to discuss patient communication strategies." After Dr. Wells hangs up, we sit in stunned silence. "They want us to present together," Bethany says finally, "in front of hundreds of medical professionals who will know about our relationship and apparently don't care." She launches herself into my arms, and for the first time in weeks, her laughter sounds genuine. The next few days blur together as we prepare for Birmingham. Bethany dives into research with renewed energy, compiling case studies and treatment protocols. I help her organize the presentation, while simultaneously working on our booth design and promotional materials. "You realize this is essentially us coming out professionally," I tell her as we practice the presentation in her living room. "Are you okay with that?" "I'm more than okay with it. I'm ready." The night before we leave for Birmingham, we're packing when Bethany's phone rings. Unknown number, but she answers anyway. "Montgomery Wellness Center." I watch her face change from neutral to confused to angry. "Who is this?" she demands. "How did you get this number?" She hangs up and immediately blocks the caller. What was that about? Someone calling to tell me they know where I live, where you live, and that Birmingham won't save us. A chill runs through me. They know about Birmingham? Apparently. Should we cancel? Hell no. If anything, this proves we're on the right track. The drive to Birmingham takes 2 hours, during which we alternate between nervous excitement and reviewing our presentation notes. The conference hotel is beautiful, all marble lobbies and crystal chandeliers that make our small-town drama feel insignificant. At the registration desk, the coordinator recognizes us immediately. "Dr. Richardson, Ms. Davis, we're so excited to have you," she leans in conspiratorially. "I have to tell you, your session is one of our most requested workshops. Word got out about your situation, and people want to hear how you've maintained professional integrity under such difficult circumstances. Our hotel room has 2 beds, but we only use 1. That night, making love feels different, more intentional, more precious, like we're claiming something that belongs to us despite everyone who's tried to take it away." The next morning, standing outside conference room B, I feel like I might throw up. "What if no one comes?" I whisper to Bethany. "What if everyone comes? What if they ask inappropriate questions about our relationship?" Then we answer them honestly. But when the doors open at 9 a.m., the room fills quickly. Medical professionals, massage therapists, acupuncturists, even a few reporters with notebooks and recorders. Bethany starts with her background in traditional Chinese medicine, her voice steady and confident. She explains pressure points, energy meridians, the philosophical foundations of healing touch. When she moves into case studies, people lean forward, taking notes. My section covers communication strategies, how to build trust with clients, how to handle emotional releases during treatment, how to maintain appropriate boundaries while still providing compassionate care. The key, I explain, is understanding that healing often requires vulnerability. Clients need to feel safe enough to let their guard down, and practitioners need training to handle what emerges when they do. During the Q&A section, someone asks the question we've been dreading. Given the recent allegations against Dr. Richardson, how do you address concerns about appropriate boundaries? The room goes quiet. I feel Bethany stiffen beside me, but when I look at her, she nods slightly. "I'll take this one," I say, stepping closer to the microphone. The allegations you're referring to are completely false, posted by anonymous accounts as part of a coordinated harassment campaign. Dr. Richardson has maintained impeccable professional standards throughout her career. But your personal relationship with her raises questions about those boundaries. My relationship with Bethany began after I was no longer her client. More importantly, it began because I recognized her integrity, her compassion, and her commitment to healing. The people attacking her anonymously online don't know her. I do. Scattered applause starts from the back of the room and spreads forward. Any other questions about our presentation material? Bethany asks, smoothly redirecting the conversation. Afterward, people line up to talk with us. Dr. Wells introduces us to colleagues from across the Southeast. A massage therapy school in Atlanta invites Bethany to guest lecture. 3 clinics offer partnership opportunities. This is incredible, Bethany whispers to me during a break between conversations. You're incredible. Look how they're responding to your expertise. Our expertise. We did this together. That evening, we celebrate in the hotel restaurant over wine and pasta that actually tastes like food instead of stress. I have something to tell you, Bethany says, reaching across the table for my hand. What? When we get home, I want to move in together. Officially. Are you sure? Things are still complicated in Montgomery. I'm sure about us. Everything else we can figure out? Even if the harassment continues? Especially then. I'm tired of letting fear make my decisions. Back in our room, we make love with a joy and certainty that feels like coming home to ourselves. When Bethany whispers my name against my neck, when I trace the curve of her shoulder in the moonlight streaming through our window, when we move together with perfect understanding. This is what I was missing for 20 years without knowing it. I love you, she breathes against my ear. I love you too, all of you, forever. Promise? Promise. The next morning, driving back to Montgomery, we're both quiet but content. Whatever waits for us at home, more harassment, more challenges, more people who can't accept who we are, we'll face it together. Ready? Bethany asks as we cross the city limits. Ready? 6 months after Birmingham, I'm standing in what used to be Bethany's kitchen, but is now our kitchen, watching her pack herbs into small jars. The morning sun streams through windows we've decorated with hanging plants and crystals that throw rainbow patterns across the walls. Mrs. Chen's order is ready, she announces, securing the lid on a jar of ginger root tea blend. That's 12 custom herbal packages this week. The online orders are picking up too. We got requests from 3 new states yesterday. Our joint wellness business has grown beyond anything we imagined. After Birmingham, word spread through professional networks about Bethany's expertise and my marketing background. What started as a way to rebuild her reputation became something bigger, a comprehensive approach to healing that combines her therapeutic knowledge with my business skills. The doorbell rings and I answer it expecting another herb delivery. Instead, I find a nervous-looking woman in her 50s holding a printed email. Are you Claire Davis? Yes. I'm Janet Morrison. I have an appointment for a consultation? I check our schedule. Janet Morris, anxiety and sleep issues, referred by Dr. Wells in Birmingham. Of course. Come in. As I lead her to our consultation room, she pauses at the framed photo on our hallway table. Bethany and me at the Alabama Alternative Medicine Conference, arms around each other, both grinning like we've won something important. Is that your partner? She asks. Yes. We work together and live together. Good for you. My daughter just came out last year. It's been a journey for our whole family, but seeing her happy makes everything worth it. In our consultation room, Janet explains her situation. High-stress job, recent menopause, husband who doesn't understand why she can't just calm down. She's tried traditional medicine, therapy, even yoga classes, but nothing's provided lasting relief. I read about your approach online, she says. The integration of physical and emotional healing. That's what I need. Bethany joins us for the treatment plan discussion. We design a comprehensive program, weekly massage therapy, customized herbal support, stress management techniques, and regular check-ins to adjust the approach as needed. This feels different from other places I've tried, Janet says as we walk her out. More personal somehow. After she leaves, I find Bethany in our garden, tending the herbs we grow for our custom blends. Another success story in the making, I tell her, wrapping my arms around her from behind. I love what we're building here. Even though it's not what either of us planned, especially because it's not what we planned. She leans back against my chest, and I breathe in the familiar scent of her hair mixed with lavender from the garden. Claire? I have news. Good news or complicated news? Good news. Great news, actually. She turns in my arms, eyes bright with excitement. The state licensing board called. They're officially closing the investigation. No evidence of professional misconduct. They're actually recommending me for a leadership role in developing new standards for therapeutic communication. Are you serious? Completely serious. And there's more. More? Dr. Wells wants us to co-author a paper on integrated wellness approaches for publication in the Journal of Alternative Medicine. I kiss her then, right there in our herb garden, tasting sunshine and possibility and the future we're creating together. We did it, I whisper against her lips. We survived. More than survived. We built something beautiful. That evening, we host our monthly wellness workshop in the converted barn behind our house. 20 people gather for Bethany's presentation on seasonal healing and my session on stress management through lifestyle changes. Faces I recognize from our neighborhood, longtime clients, new people referred by word of mouth. During the break, I overhear 2 participants talking. I can't believe people tried to run them out of town. Shows how much those troublemakers actually knew. This is exactly what Montgomery needed. After everyone leaves, Bethany and I clean up in comfortable synchronization, moving around each other with the easy familiarity of a couple who've learned each other's rhythms. Remember our first session? She asks, stacking chairs. When I cried all over your treatment table? You were so lost. You saved me. We saved each other. Later, lying in bed with her head on my chest, I think about the journey that brought us here. The divorce that felt like ending became the beginning. The harassment that tried to destroy us made us stronger. The fear that almost kept us apart taught us what we were willing to fight for. Bethany? Marry me. She lifts her head to look at me, and in the moonlight streaming through our bedroom window I see surprise and joy and something deeper, recognition, like she's been waiting for this moment without knowing it. Are you proposing to me? I'm asking if you want to spend the rest of your life building beautiful things together. In that case, yes. Absolutely yes. Even if it's complicated? Especially if it's complicated. She kisses me then, sealing the promise we've been making to each other every day for months without words. Tomorrow there will be rings to choose, ceremonies to plan, logistics to figure out. Tonight there's just us, the moon, and the certain knowledge that we've found our way home to each other and to ourselves. 6 months ago, I was a divorced woman afraid of her own shadow. Tonight, I'm someone who knows exactly who she is and who she chooses to love. The transformation hasn't been easy, but it's been real. And it's just the beginning.